Harold and I worked together on that tractor, but how do you want how we got the tractor, where we got it and all that?
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to see that. And
Well,
I know
the
we've got a lot of pictures
start of that tractor was Harold and I used to go out to Conrad, Montana, and visit with Mort and Emil Christensen. Well, Mort had laying there that big long crankshaft, and Harold, of course, was interested in that and thought it was a 6-cylinder big 4. Well, Mort gave it to Harold, and I remember when he come back through Malta, we stopped at Anchor Hanson's. Well, he didn't anchor. Where'd you get that crooked stick? He said. It was laying crossways in the box. Well, anyhow, he brought it up here, took it home. Well, Mort and Ray German used to run the Gar Scott at the show. And that one year they come here, and normally I wouldn't stop. But being it was them, they wanted to go down to the bar and have a bottle of beer. So I went with them. Well, Mort and I were sitting there, so I says to Mort, I said, where did you get that crankshaft? He told me. Well, was there anything else there? Oh, yeah, there was some other parts there. Well, you know, when I got wind of that. So I found out where it was at. Well, that fall, Harold and I went out to Mort's and stuff, and Harold, it was Bill and Wilford and Harold and me, and they took other outfit and went somewhere. Harold and I went up to find this tractor. Well, we went up to this farm north of Inverston, Montana. Wickman was the same, and a big old house. And went to the door, and this big heavy-set guy come out. And, yeah, he said, there's part of an old tractor out there. Well, could we look at it? Well, sure, and I'll be out there. He come, he was an important guy. We went up the tractor over, and Harold looking all around, all this and that. So finally, I said, come on, Harold, let's get going. I said, well, you know, I said, let's get going. I said, let me handle this. And I said to the guy, I said, we'll give you $300 for everything I find in this place for that tractor. Well, he had to talk to the estate. Fine. I said, you let me know. Well, of course, he called me up and accepted it, so I gave him the $300. But on the way we left there, Harold, I said, Harold, we look around, keep looking around. It happened before, and looking around. And Harold, of all people, was kind of conservative. And then you come to buy it for $200-300. They think it's worth a lot more. Let's just, well, anyhow, we went out and got it. We took my truck. And Bill took his new truck, and we loaded the big 6 stuff parts on my truck, and we never found one more part than what we'd already seen. Okay. And then we went and got the Wallace Cub that I bought from Emil. And that's where we got the start. Well, then John Hall, he was along. We decided they were going to cut 2 crankcases, a cylinder off each one, and put them together. Mm-hmm. But that wouldn't work. And I said, if you're going to do anything, put a 6-cylinder Twin City motor in there. You know, I was thinking the practical way, which was, well, anyhow, one night the phone rings, and it's Melvin Hellewinkle, who'd been to our show, and he sent a lot of pictures into the engineers and engines of the Western engines, for some reason not to Ironman. And he asked me about this tractor. He said it's a reused, but it's a 45 horse. Well, I said, why would you call it, how do you know it's a 45 horse? Well, he said it's got tag at the end of the cylinder, end of the frame. Well, I knew that was a big reason. Well, I said, where is this tractor? Well, he said, it's in the riverbank at Cadoga, South Dakota. Oh. Well, I said, that's a 6-cylinder big 4. Oh. Because they were 45, 45-90. Anyhow, I called Harold then. We just talked about every Saturday night and told him, oh yeah. So he got a phone. Next Saturday night, that guy ain't got no phone. I said, what do you mean? He called me on the phone. Well, he was calling Laverne, North Dakota. Well, they got acquainted with him. Well, then Harold with Frank Hyman, I think, stopped on the way to the show that spring or summer, and got up here. And they decided that was a sad end to a grand old tractor. That's the word they used. But then they got thinking over on the way back. They went there. They didn't look so bad. So then we decided at the Rolag we would go down and take it out. But Bill couldn't make it because he was harvesting. So it was Harold, John Hall, Frank Hyman, Wilford Abels, and me, and we went down there. But I told Harold, now we make a deal before we do anything here, which he did. We bought it for $300. The guy didn't even know he had it. Well, we got the motor out real quickly, but the transmission, we decided to get that. It was busted up some, but that was more work. And my job was we made a coffer dam and keep sand against so the water didn't rush in there.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of
we got that out
4x plywood
and stuff.
That you'd put
and
in
I know when I hauled that there, we went down and bought this plywood and these big 2x12s or 2x10s to skid it up on. And when I got done, we give that to that farmer. And I hauled them over to him, and he said, well, that must be worth quite a lot of money. I said, only to the people that can use it. And he agreed. But if we wouldn't have bought it ahead of time, but not that it was worth nothing there, it just went to hell.
Yeah.
And that's how we got it. Well, then Harold got busy, and he got Jerry Appnap, he rebuilt the motor and did the welding, put the pieces back in the crankcase because they were busted out, because they were tipped over and the ice had got them. And anyhow, that's how it got fixed up. Well, then Harold, he said, this ain't fair. Well, no, that was a little, he said, I will keep track of what I get in the tractor. And then he said, that's how we got the tractor. Harold and John Hall restored it with the help of Dan Christ. He made the pattern for the differential gear. We had part of the old one. And I had the wheels from a four-cylinder big four, but the same thing, the late ones, the flat spokes, and the ironic thing, this and here, the number of this and the one number of the one next one was flat spokes. So we got this one had originally had flat spokes on it.
Okay.
So we had the wheels, and some of the parts, I don't know, maybe the carburetor stuff worked from the four-cylinder, I don't know. But Harold did all that.
Yeah, and how long did that take?
9 years.